Welcome to the channel. So today what we're going to talk about is when you have good compression on your equipment and it's still not running right, what else should you be looking for? So stay tuned. Alright, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric. This is an educational video, of things to look at and how to fix your own equipment. We also have the weekday Monday through Friday that is business and repairs. Do it in the mornings. We also have the weekend. So if you get a chance, you can watch any of the other videos or get them on podcast. Alright, so today what we're talking about is it doesn't matter whether it's a trimmer, chainsaw. If you have a two-stroke, what ends up happening is when you're mixing your gas, you're adding an additive, which is the oil mixture that is required by these pieces of equipment. Now, if you go ahead and you do a compression check on this, on the saw, and on the trimmer, and you're above 100, you kind of ruled that out, right? Because one of the number one problems that come through our shop, if compression is good and it's sluggish and it doesn't want to rev up, is your spark arrestor. Now, before you go tearing into the carburetor and everything else, this is a simple thing to look at. Now your spark arrestor is located right here on this saw, and then on your trimmer, it's tucked in behind here and it's held in with a screw where the steels do theirs. Now you probably could sneak something into there, but the easiest way to do it is to take these bolts out, screws out, and then just take the whole cover off. And on this one, just remove these two, and this drops out and you can see it. What ends up happening is it's carbon buildup, and if you have the tendency to run a little rich on your oil mixture, it's going to happen to you more often. And the typical signs is it'll start and idle, but the minute you go to rev it, she shuts right down, or she's sluggish, or she doesn't want to rev up. It's because as much as your compression is important, so isn't your exhaust. If you can't exhaust the fumes and everything from the saw when it's running, then it's gonna kind of give back end pressure, right? So it can't rev up. It's gonna typically your first thought is gonna be either my carburetor needs cleaning or I need a new carburetor. And you go ahead and replace that carburetor, and you got the same problems. So today let's take a look at these. Let me get some tools and my glasses. And just so you know what I'm talking about here, let me swing this around and see if we can get you to get a good picture of it. Come on here, girl. It's right here. And this little screw is holding it on. So let's do this one. Let me see. Now you can use your impact driver for this, but mine's up to the house. I've been working on fence, so I use that as well when I'm putting in screws into the fence. So it takes just a minute longer. We'll use the T-handle. But this is the Torque 27. Like I say, it's not that big a deal. Just set that right down like that, leave the screws right in it. But right here is where the spark arrestor. Okay, it's already been removed off from this one. So somebody's had problems with it before. So that's not going to work for us. Now with these spark arresters, are they required by law to have them in there? And that's what they are. They're spark arresters so that you're not starting forest fires or fires that keeps it coming out the spark. You're just getting the exhaust. Check your local laws and your state laws. You know, for what time it takes to clean them, I'd put it back on, to be honest with you. And that way you're covered. Doesn't matter where you're living, if that spark arrestor's in place, then you'll never have problems. But this one here doesn't have it. And does it need it to run? Absolutely not. Probably runs with better power because you have more exhaust coming out. Instead of going through a fine screen, you're just coming out through the exhaust port. The bad part is when it's in storage, you get bugs or the mud wasp and stuff. They can go up into your exhaust and build nests. Where the screen is, it keeps them out. So that's why I suggest just leave them right in. All right, so let's get out the 1/4 inch. Just go easy with these. You don't want to put a lot of tension at first because you don't want to snap that bolt off. And this could be part of your preventative, your maintenance thing, of taking this off every time you do a service on it. And here's where the screen is located. This is where you end up getting a lot of carbon built up. And as you can see, it's real fine. And that's why I say I would just clean it and put it back in. Mainly because of the bugs and the mud wasps. Because once they get into your exhaust, now you're looking internal because it sucks. So how do you clean a dirty one? Well, a couple of different methods. You could take like a PB blaster, a degreaser, let it soak for a little bit, and then spray it off, crumble it off. You could take a torch, pair of pliers, heat it up till she gets really hot to where she burns the carbon off, and then just scrape it, and then just simply put it back in. Like that. Come on, Bessie. Yeah, let's tip her up like this. And just reverse, put it back on just as you would anything else. I'd also recommend that you do put a sheath on that when you're working on it, because you could cut yourself pretty easy. But this is what you need to look for, you know, after you do your compression and you got good fire and you know the fuel's good and the air filter on it isn't plugged. This is one more thing to add to that procedure that you want to check, and that is a plugged spark arrestor. Again, all that's doing is just keeping the sparks from coming out. As far as I know, it came out years ago because what they found was some of the loggers, you know, before they started using them, what ended up happening was the sparks coming off the exhaust was actually getting into the dry leaves and brush and everything else that they were around, right? So they started looking at it and they figured out that that was causing a lot of forest fires up in where they were logging. So they went back to the table and the companies came out with a spark arrestor which minimizes it on every piece of equipment. Now, depending on your state, check your state and local laws. Some states require all the time. You know, if you're in a damp area, you don't have to worry about it. But what I'm saying is it's there for a reason, so clean it and put it back on. So on that note, you guys have a great day, and thanks so much for watching.